Hello, this is Dennis Pennington, and I'll be talking to you a little bit about how to put in your 2015 plan of work in for the AABI. We'll be using a SharePoint list this year, so it'll be something a little bit different to get used to, but I think this tutorial should help you get the job done. So the first thing you'll want to do is open up the link in the email that was sent to you in your browser. And I'm going to do this by simply clicking on the link, and what it will do is it'll open up the login window for SharePoint. Make sure you type in your ANR username and password and then log in. Once you're in, you'll notice that you're in the SharePoint site. You can see some of the navigation that you might be used to. I'm in the bioenergy bioproducts area because that's the area where I have access, and this is where I created the list. You'll notice that there are some entries in here, and these entries look very similar to an Excel spreadsheet. So let's look at the layout of this. The first row is the ID, which is just a unique ID number when each record is created. The next column is the title or description of the program. The next column is the work group. And you can choose which work group. Is it APP, EQ, or is it business management? Then you can choose the condition change or the long-term change that your program is going to be measuring against, and then the indicator to go with it. And as you notice, as we look at some of these different things, the action outcome, the action indicator, these are the metrics. These are the same columns that were in the Excel file that we used last year when entering our plan of work into the AABI Excel spreadsheet. So you got your action outcome, you got your action indicators, you got your audiences. Now I'll show you more about all the different audiences you can choose. You can select the issue team, the delivery method, the time frame, diversity efforts. All the same information in here is what you're plugging into the Excel spreadsheet, only this time it's displayed on the screen as a list. This is called a list in SharePoint. You can check whether it's a multi-year effort or not. Is this going to go on more than 1 year, or has it already been going on for more than 1 year? If it is, check yes. If it's a multi-state effort, again, check yes, because we want to track the involvement working in other states with multiple state programs. And then the last three columns is the date that the entry was modified last, who it was modified by, and then who created the initial content. So as you're going in, reviewing and editing and checking things, you can go in and see who created the entry into this database, and then who last modified it and when did they last modify it. So as you're working together in your teams, and you might be, for example, Field Crops team may be working to populate this for all their 2015 winter meetings. There might be multiple people go in here editing. You might have one person that is assigned to create each individual program, and those multiple people, whoever the last one was to edit, will show up here and when they edited. There's a number of ways to display the information on the screen. I can sort by the title, I can sort by the work group, I can sort by the condition change or the indicator, by any of these columns here. So if I click on the arrow next to it, I can either sort this ascending or descending, and I'll sort it as descending for now, and notice it puts C8, all the C8s first, C6, C5, or C4, excuse me. Or by clicking on it again, I notice I can sort it going the other direction. It's got the business management stuff first, then goes C1, C4, and so on. So that's one way of changing the display here, and maybe as we get 50 or 100 entries in here, trying to find things in here might be a little bit more difficult. Another thing that you can do is called filtering. Now suppose that I'm working on a program and I know it's a C6, and to help me find that, I can go in here and apply a filter, and it will only show me the records that are using the C6 condition change. So that helps me find, okay, there's my bioenergy for now program that I need to make some edits to. Now it's important to note this filter icon here. If you don't clear that filter is always going to be there. So if you come back later and you say, well, I can't find any of the other stuff that's in here, it looks like these are the only 2 entries. It's because you have this filter on. So you have to clear the filter, and then once you clear the filter, all of the entries will be displayed. Now notice I keep getting this error message down at the bottom. It's asking me if I want to allow the block content. I can either choose allow the block content. If I do that, it's going to ask me to resubmit, and it's going to reload this page, but I'm going to get the same error again and again. So the way that you can get rid of that, click on the gear and go down to Internet Options. So you go up to the gear in the upper right corner, click on Internet Options, we can change a setting in here. Now once you get into Internet Options, you want to go to this last tab, Advanced, and then scroll down and notice there's a browsing, there's HTTP settings. We're looking for security, and here it is. Under the security area, you want to put a check in this line that says allow active content to run in files on my computer. So make sure that box is checked, and then you can hit apply and then say OK, and hopefully that will take care of that error message and it won't pop up again. It's just a security thing that runs in the background, and it doesn't know for sure until you tell it whether SharePoint is a secure site or not. So hopefully that message won't pop up anymore. So I've shown you a little bit about how to sort and how to filter different records in here. Next, let's talk about how do you add records. So there's a couple different ways to add records. If I scroll all the way to the bottom, I can click on Add New Item here. That will do the same thing as if I click on List Tools and say New Item up here. Both of them will take me to the same place. So if I click on New Item here, now notice I got this critical error here. This is a problem with Internet Explorer 11, and there's a fairly simple way to fix this error. So I'm going to close this. You go back up to your gear in Internet Explorer, and if you don't know whether you have Internet Explorer 11 or not, you can tell that by going down here to About Internet Explorer, and you can tell here that I have Internet Explorer 11. If your computer is set to automatically update, you probably have Internet Explorer 11 on your computer. So the way to get around that is you go back up to the gear and click on Compatibility View Settings, and once you do that, it will pop up, and what it does is it allows the website to view in a compatibility mode, because some of the features in Internet Explorer 11 are not compatible with our version of SharePoint. So notice in the white space, I don't have any websites that I've added. It knows because I'm on an MSU website, it already has the address here. I'm going to click Add, and notice it put MSU down here, and then I will say Close, and I'm still getting that error message I see. But I'm going to scroll back down here, and I'm going to say Add New Item, and now my form pops up and I can start entering data into the data entry form. So I'm going to call this the Corn Stover Harvest Project, because that's a project I'm involved with. This is part of the APPEQ work group. For the conditional change, notice I have all the condition changes listed here. For this one in particular, I'm going to improve production efficiency. So I've chose C4 for my long-term change. Now I got to choose the indicator that goes with that, the condition change indicator. I can choose C4-I1, which is a dollars change due to yield or productivity change. I can choose I2, which is a dollars change due to quality change, or the dollars change due to change in input costs. Well, I'm going to try to help people improve their yield and production efficiency, so I'm going to choose this one, C4-I1. Next, we have to choose the action outcome, and the action outcome needs to match up. So I chose C4, so I've got to choose one of these two A4s here. So I can either choose that they're going to adopt new practices or they're going to implement new technology. And for me, the program I'm doing, I'm going to see if I can get them to implement new technology. There's a new corn stover harvesting head for a combine that can windrow corn stover in the same pass as when you're combining. So now that I have the action outcome I chose is A4-2. So I need to choose the indicator. Okay, what's the indicator? How am I going to know if they implemented this technology? I can go to A4-2, and notice I have 4 different options I can choose from for this entry, and I'm going to say the number of farms adopting practices. So I'm going to track the number of farms that are using the corn rower head. Issue teams, you can choose them here. I'm going to choose a bioenergy team. In the next is the audiences, and you can choose multiple different audiences in here. I'm not targeting consumers, so I'm going to target general ag producers and focus particularly on corn. And then there's a bioenergy one down here at the bottom, and I'm going to click on that. So I've clicked on multiple audiences for this entry. Delivery method will be on-farm research plots published at winter meetings and on website. Time frame will be fall harvest 2014, winter meetings in February 2015. Diversity efforts, none at this time. Roles and collaborators, I'm going to put myself on the project, Mark, Charles, Paul, and James. Evaluation plan will include a turning point survey at the conclusion of the presentation. This is a multi-year effort because this project was funded by the corn growers, and it will start in 2014 and it goes for 3 years. This is also part of a multi-state effort with some work that we have going on at Ohio State University, so I'm going to check that this is a multi-state effort. So I've entered all of the data that needs to be entered into this data entry form, and I'll click Save up here. And after it sends the data to the server, we'll scroll down to the bottom, and here's the entry that I just plugged in. So that's how you enter new items. You can edit this by either clicking on this icon or come up here to List Tools. Now, if you click on Browse or any of these other things up here, just remember to go back to List Tools and then click on Items. You can either edit the item by clicking on this icon, or you can click on the same icon down below here. And that will bring up the data entry form. Maybe I'm going to call this 2015 AABI POW. And down here, I'm going to add bioenergy as an audience. And I'm going to say we're going to do this in July 2015, and I'm going to add my name in here as a collaborator. Then click Save and you're finished. So now suppose two people want to go in and edit a document at the same time. Let's say, for example, two of us want to go into this money tree development project and edit it. Both of you can click on the icon and it will open up the window so that each of you can type in there whatever you want. Now the key thing is what happens when you go to save it. If two people are in here editing at the same time, you won't get any message or error indicating that somebody else is editing the entry. When you go to click the save button, you will get a error that would pop up like this. The first person that hits the save button wins. Okay, you get your data saved and all the changes that you made. The second person that goes to save will get this nice little error that says save conflict. Your changes conflict with those made concurrently by another user. If you want the changes to be applied, click the back button in your browser, refresh the page, and then resubmit your changes. Now, usually people don't spend a lot of time editing, so you probably can come back in 4 or 5 minutes and try to re-edit and make the changes into there again. But if you get this error message, your changes have not been saved. And one last thing I wanted to cover is the Find feature in your browser. As people enter more and more records, you'll find yourself spending quite a bit of time scrolling. It might be faster to use the Find feature to locate a record or information you're looking for. In your browser, press Ctrl F to open the Find function. And notice at the top you get this Find. I can type in virus. I found one match. And notice it's right here, so now I can look at what this program is, who's involved with it, what are the metrics and so on that they're going to be reporting against, and is this something that I want to be involved with or help with. So this is a way that you can search in here and find different information. Maybe I want to search my name and see if somebody has plugged me in on something that I'm not sure or that I didn't know for sure that I was doing. So I can find my name here. I can hit the next button. I am also involved in this. My name is down here, and I've got 16 matches in here, mostly because I'm showing up in here in the edit because I've been working in here a lot. So the Find feature is something that can be very useful to you, and remember again, Control F, the Find window back on your browser. So we've covered how to log in, how to search and adjust the view, as well as add entries and view them. So if you have any questions or have any trouble entering your information, please don't hesitate to contact me and I would be more than happy to help you. I hope that this system will work better and save us some time coordinating the entry of this information, and we'll be successful in getting our plan of work together as an AABI institute. Thank you very much and good luck.